Welcome to a 1v1 on Faymanville Approach. This game is going to be Taxman66 against DxZero. DxZero playing as Osthair in the west, Taxman66 playing as US Forces in the east, going with a Rifleman rear echelon start. Interesting. Very interesting. And DxZero going with a Grenadier start, followed by another Grenadier. So double Grenadiers for him. Taxman going to be utilizing the second rear echelon squad for capturing. I'm not sure why he purchased it after a rifleman squad, though. That is kind of telling that he would get the riflemen first and then get another rear echelon troop squad. It looks like he's going to vault the fence here with his riflemen and make a play straight for this building, would be my guess. Or maybe just grab this cutoff right here. Okay, he's just going to be grabbing that strategic point. So I'm thinking that he goes rifleman first because he anticipates the first engagement occurring in this area, and he's correct. And he wants to have riflemen there instead of rear echelon troops, and it looks like that pays off because he does prevent some barbed wire going up to deny him any cover. So there you go. Meanwhile, up here, rear echelon troops are going to be grabbing the victory point. He's got a second rifleman squad on the way, going to be grabbing that. DxZero trying to get some barbed wire up here under rifleman fire. Taking a bit of damage, though. Decides to get back inside the building. Grenadiers moving down here towards the truck. These Grenadiers grabbing the fuel point. They actually leave the capture circle, though, because they're... Yep, there he goes. And MG42 is on its way. So it looks like DxZero is going to try to maintain control of this house until his machine gun can arrive, at which point we'll take up a defensive position inside of this building. Grenadiers defending the area until that happens. Taxman, on the other hand, spreading out a little bit, continuing to take territory. Needs to shift-click his capture orders, though. Doesn't want his squad standing idle. Pretty good response time on that one, though, making its way up towards those Grenadiers, getting a little aggressive. Oh, nope, changes his mind and retreats. Okay, probably didn't have to retreat. But I guess he just figured that engagement was lost. He's going to reallocate them to some other task. Machine gun is not setting up inside of the building, instead setting up here in open ground, but it does catch some riflemen on the approach. These riflemen, however, are placed quite well in cover and inflict heavy damage on that Grenadier squad as it tries to round the corner and then vaults the wall, which he probably shouldn't have done. He's getting way too close to those Pioneers, taking up position on the north end of the building, where there are two windows, so he's still actually taking quite a bit of damage at such close range from those Pioneers. Decides that he kind of mismicroed that engagement and needs to retreat before he takes any manpower bleed. He does get away without suffering any model losses. More riflemen making their way up to try to prevent the capture of the central victory point. Harassment continues up here in the north, grabbing the munitions. Counter harassment here, or harassment down here by Grenadiers, grabbing that munitions. But there is some counter-harassment on its way. Taxman still has not chosen a commander, and as far as tech, he has gone with a lieutenant. And he's a little bit late, actually, to tech. Just a hair late.
We're taking fire! Keep adjusting your position!
Which happens when you get a third rifle squad. There's not really all that much you can really do about it, I guess. That does mean that his M20 is going to hit the field a little bit late, should he choose to get one. But that's not really the end of the world against Osthair, because you're not racing a Puma to the field the way you are when you're against Ocarina West, so being 30 seconds or a minute late is really not the end of the world. But he is indeed going for the M20 rush. Hopefully he'll be able to impact the field with that quite effectively, despite the delay. Meanwhile, up here in the north, barbed wire going up. Nice play by those rear echelon troops to deny this munitions to his opponent, although it is also going to prevent him from harassing this strategic point. So, something to keep in mind. Looks like it's already had an effect, though. Grenadiers forced to take another route. And he could win this engagement if he's quick enough to react, get in cover, and utilize volley fire.
Utility car taking the field.
But I get... Oh, no, he is going to do it. I think he could win this. It's going to be close. With only 2 models remaining, I don't know if he's going to be able to pin the squad, though. His DPS will be quite short. Volley fire runs out. He's down to 1 model. He's not going to be able to win that in his forced retreat. He was a little bit too late to respond to that situation, unfortunately. And as a result, he's forced to retreat with the rear echelon troops, but his utility car does make it up there to support just in time and force a retreat from the Grenadier squad anyway, so those rear echelon troops at least bought enough time going to be able to maintain control of the territory. Meanwhile, here in the south, it looks like all counter-harassment attempts have failed. Grenadiers are going to be grabbing that munitions point. Meanwhile, these Grenadiers making their way for the cutoff. And the M20 is base rushing. This is an extremely bold move by that M20. It looks like it's going to pay off. Oh, there it goes. He couldn't get the Faust off, so the M20 will get away unpunished. In fact, going to be wiping out a Pioneer squad too, which was forced to retreat from the front lines. Going to try to kite the M20 around in circles. I don't know if he's going to be able to wipe that squad. He was very nearly able to wipe that squad, but unfortunately, he's getting out reinforced. Oh no, there's a one-man Grenadier model. Fortunately, the base machine guns are inflicting pretty heavy damage on the M20's rear armor. It's going to be forced to retreat, regardless. Pop smoke to try and escape punishment by a Panzer Faust. His opponent does get it off, though. I'm not sure if it's going to survive. Oh, it hit the ground. It just hit the ground. That's extremely unusual, but it does happen. There you go, there's video proof. That's dumb. That shouldn't have happened. I don't know if that would have survived that much damage. Of course, there's always the chance of being destroyed. I'm pretty sure it would have been destroyed, though, if it hadn't gotten a death crit.
Sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being captured.
Utility car has been fully repaired and making its way back down here. And here's the infamous U.S. Forces float. 600 manpower, 100 fuel as he tries to wait potentially for 3 command points, at which point maybe he'll be thinking about bringing in paratroopers. Thinking about bringing in, well, probably not Baron right away. He would have chosen that by now already. Or Greyhound. Taking heavy damage on his utility car from a 222. He evacuates the crew with a bazooka, and he does take it out. Gets back inside immediately. He needs to pop smoke to survive a Panzer Faust. No, he's too late. No, get back out. Get back out. Oh, main gun destroyed. That's 2 Panzer Fausts that have failed to destroy this thing. Meanwhile, he is not really microwing that rifle squad or this one. That one's pinned by machine gun fire. This one has taken heavy damage in the midst of things. He gets the crew back out. He utilizes repair critical, then pops smoke, spending a lot of munitions on this utility car, desperately trying to get it out of harm's way, but it gets destroyed by small arms fire.
Just got destroyed.
The Grenadiers just got a lucky hit on the rear armor, and then down it goes. So.
Damn it! Someone get us out of here! Shift your fire!
That Grenadier does with a Car 98 with 2 other Grenadiers before him couldn't do with 2 Panzer Fausts. and the end of an era, unfortunately. Taxman still floating. He's got 600 manpower. He's continuing to use his manpower only to reinforce his riflemen. He has not fielded any new units. Actually, I take that back. He's also purchased a major. So we'll be hitting the field soon. Hopefully he'll be able to utilize that in conjunction with an ambulance instead of forward reinforced point. He's got excellent map control. He's got control of both fuel points and both munitions points, only now losing control of the southern fuel points to these Grenadiers, but he did a good job of harassing that in the midst of the M20 engagement here in the middle, which went pretty well for him considering that he took out that 222, but he also lost his own. Light vehicle, but no infantry squad wipes on either side, I believe. 3 Grens, 3 riflemen, Panzer Grenadiers, Lieutenant on both sides. So I don't think there were any squad wipes besides what's already happened in the base. The base rush, so I'm pretty sure economically both players are on relatively even footing. The U.S. Forces player might have a slight advantage, although he also has taken a bit of bleed in reinforcements. So U.S. Forces player also has definitely had the advantage as far as map control. Riflemen pushing away Grenadiers down here, but they're going to get out blobbed very soon. Machine gun probably doesn't even have to reposition. He's probably trying to convince it to reposition with his flanking attempt, but unfortunately there's way too much supporting infantry on the flanks, and he is going to be forced to retreat right now. No point sticking around in an engagement that you can't possibly win. He was taking grenades. Lieutenant flanks around the side of the building. Rifleman going to take up a position in the house. Lieutenant Thompson and Barr doing very nice damage to the infantry. And those riflemen are going to do what they can, but I don't think they're going to be able to wipe that. Even on retreat and red cover, fortunately. Machine gun does get away. Lieutenant gets focused down, and he's got to withdraw. Meanwhile, LMG purchased on DxZero Grenadiers. And these riflemen in the house are going to be forced out very soon.
A capture point is being overrun.
Yep, there they go.
Squad,
Those are dead.
get ready.
There's no way they survive. No way.
Area secured.
The enemy is overrunning.
Fortunately, they're retreating in yellow cover instead of red cover. Wow, I was wrong. They do get away. I'm really surprised those grenadiers didn't wipe that. Meanwhile, rifleman moving up to engage here, trying to wipe this almost dead squad, but he just couldn't quite do it. I'm not sure he's gonna get away either. He does get away just barely by a hair. Taxman getting very lucky escaping with these almost dead squads. His opponent also quite lucky not to lose that. Major's been produced, and we now see a Sherman getting produced. DxZero still has 115 fuel. No doctrine selected yet, although 2 of his available choices have access to Tigers. So certainly going to be going for a Tiger later on. Taxman's blob has been freshly reinforced, but it needs healing. Hasn't found the time to produce an ambulance, wanting to rush his Sherman out as quickly as possible, although he's probably going to be getting that next. Give his units the edge in these engagements. Where currently it's pretty much just wounded soldiers fighting more wounded soldiers. Neither side quite willing to make the expenditure to heal their troops just yet. Instead opting to field more units. Oh, he's in red cover on the approach. Oh, but his Sherman hits the field and gets a nice opening HE round, wiping that squad. Second round misses, unfortunately, and a Faust is going in to prevent the Sherman from pursuing. And unfortunately, while he was microing this engagement, he allowed a rifleman squad to die. And is not able to punish his opponent for wiping his squad because his HE rounds are missing. Everything looks like it's going to be able to get away fine. He's ejecting his crew from the Sherman to repair the critical. And
Tactical point being captured.
we also have harassment of the territory here in the south. In the midst of things, rear echelon troops making their way back up here towards the victory point. And these rear echelon troops are going to grab the strategic point and grab the victory point here. He does finish repairing his Sherman, and then I don't know what is going on. Meanwhile, rifleman grabbing the strategic point over here, and healing continues here in the Axis base. But no medic bunker yet. Probably be a good time to get one. He does have the munitions for it, but I guess I don't know. I guess it just doesn't want to get that yet. His pack is hitting the field now. It's a little late. Didn't have it available to support during that engagement when the Sherman hit the field. Probably should have known that a Sherman was coming. But his timing is just a little bit off, and now he's going to have to contend with the Sherman in his base. Pack is well positioned though to deter the Sherman's push. And Taxman doesn't quite feel comfortable diving the base and circle strafing the pack. Honestly, if he didn't get any unfortunate engine destroyed crits, he probably could have ended the game right there. But he's playing it safe, nothing wrong with that. Gonna heal or repair a little bit. His opponent's fuel continues to creep up to 190. He's about 3 command points away from a Tiger now. And I think like 70 fuel, something like that. So the Tigers looks like it's on its way. And that's going to punish the Sherman rather than Jackson's decision. He's going to have to try and impact the field as dramatically as he possibly can with that tank while he's got it. That was a terrible retreat path. What a senseless loss of that rifle squad. Oh! Screening troops arrive just in time, and he's forced to pull back away from the Sherman, and it's a miracle that that rifle squad survives. Looks like that Grenadier squad just barely gets away as well. Both players struggling to close the deal on these squad wipes. Never place your Ranger in green cover like this because it causes your units that are retreating to get stuck. You should always Position him in front of the... Yeah, exactly. See, he even noticed that was happening. Good.
You got your orders.
Ambulance hits the field.
Good to go.
It's a cool skin.
We're losing a capture
I don't
point.
see that one very frequently. I'm jealous. I wish I had that.
Mass up. Listen
I
carefully.
think that's called the Ardennes something pattern. Something like that. Repairs continuing on the Sherman. I guess I should have noticed it on. He's got it on the Sherman too. Man, that looks cool.
57mm
Anyway.
AT gun now deployable by air.
Harassment of the
Air supply
Northern
field
Victory
order.
Point
The capture
continuing.
point is under attack.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green is green.
Battalion just reported Pathfinders ready for action.
And after capturing that, make a hasty retreat, which is probably a good idea because they were a little bit overextended. He was definitely at risk of losing the full squad to this Sherman. Sherman is probably one of the best counter-harassment units in the game.
Pathfinders on station and
If
ready
not
for
the
action.
best, I honestly can't think of something better than a Sherman for counter-harassment. Certainly better than a T-34 or a Panzer IV, as far as squad-wide potential and potential targets. The high explosive rounds. Yeah, I would definitely say it is probably the best counter-harassment unit in the game considering its speed. Squad-wide potential. The only thing keeping it from being blatantly overpowered is its inaccuracy. Oh no. He keeps on losing full squads because of this retreat path. He needs to soft retreat this direction before retreating. If he doesn't want that to happen, and when he sees that unfortunate retreat path happening, he then needs to deactivate his major's retreat point so that his units will automatically start pathing towards his main base instead of towards the major. Sherman is moving up without infantry support, which is dangerous when there's a pack and a Panzerschreck squad now on the field, but he's doing a good job of keeping it just outside of his opponent's range, inflicting a lot of bleed. But he needs to be careful that he doesn't enter the pack's arc of fire for too long. Surprised those Panzerschrecks haven't taken up a position in the building. I guess he's afraid of losing the entire squad to a lucky shot. It is at half health, so he needs to be very careful with it. And still no medic bunker in the base at 17 minutes. Which is not really something he can afford to skimp on. Desperate for healing with these Panzerschreck troops. Especially with these HE rounds, just inflicting all this damage on his squads that he has no way of healing. All these squads taking so much damage. Why is he not being more... not doing what he's currently doing? He's just so at risk, although he is probably going to be able to force that lieutenant away. But he's taking so much damage and bleed at the same time. And really start to feel the resource advantage that the U.S. Forces player has at this point, leading him for manpower so much. He's beating him by about 10 as far as pop cap. Of course, he just got out of his tank, so it looks like he has less, but he really has like about 10 more pop cap, and he also has more resources. And he has a Jackson cooking, which is good because the Panzer IV just hit the field and needs to get back inside. There he goes. He doesn't really have any bazookas. He doesn't really have anything for AT except for his Sherman. He should definitely not engage that Panzer IV considering his Sherman's current health. He needs to retreat. He makes the right call. He is pulling back. I hope he notices that squad. He was a little late to retreat that. There they go. He also loses a full squad of rear echelon troops because he wasn't watching. This is one of those moments where everything starts going wrong all at the same time. Ouch. That is not good. Axis presence on the map is now going to have a lot of freedom to expand. But that series of engagements is exactly what the Axis player needed to even have a chance. Honestly, they were moments away from losing the game. And that Panzer IV came in and wiped a squad. Some Grenadiers wiped another squad up here, severely reducing his opponent's map control and presence. But he has chosen airborne. I think that is going to be his first usage of his commander feature, bringing in that paradrop anti-tank gun. He's got no oh no, that's not true. He also purchased some Pathfinders. Okay, so he's got Pathfinders and an AT gun. He's also produced a Jackson, so now he's hitting the field in strength once again. Sherman moving up to try and get some lucky shots on those infantry, but he is within the arc of fire of an anti-tank gun. The riflemen just walked straight into an MG, so they're going to be forced to retreat. Unsuccessful flank, although the machine gun is in the middle of an open road, so it needs to be careful. Sherman is also moving around on the flank, and Jackson's trying to get a line on the Panzer IV, but unfortunately he's a little too timid to move it up and take some shots. He probably could have Probably could have hit it twice, considering its pathing hiccup right here around the back, but fortunately,
We're losing
I
a
was a little
capture
too timid
point.
there. Move up. HC gun is well positioned though, trying to deal with anything. Hopefully it'll be hitting Vet 1 at some point, and he'll be able to utilize take aim and really get a nice line on the road. Panzer IV is going in for a super aggressive flank against a Jackson and an AT gun. What is he thinking? Massive damage inflicted on the first shot. Panzer IV misses its shot. Misses both of its shots. Oh no, it doesn't. Second shot connects. Jackson lands 2 shots, and the AT gun repositions just in time and curves the shell around the house, I think. I probably just barely clipped it across the front.
Looks like we're getting into
And the Panzer IV goes down. Terrible decision by the Auster player to charge that. I don't know what he was thinking. Jackson basically is a hard counter to the Panzer IV. That was definitely an error in judgment by the Auster player there.
System active.
Duties off. Boys, you ready to roll out? What's that gunner thinking? Kill those stupid bastards!
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Taking fire!
Still no doctrine selection from DxZero. He's definitely going to have a Tiger soon. In fact, I'm honestly surprised that he went for a Panzer IV, because at the point the Panzer IV came out, he had 11 command points. He could have called in a Tiger instead. Tiger would certainly have been a lot more problematic for Taxman to deal with, especially at the point when it came out. He didn't even have his Jackson yet. He had only a Sherman. A Tiger could have probably been devastating, possibly even game-winning. But he went with Panzer IV instead. If he was gonna get a Panzer IV, he should have done it a long time ago, but he was so slow to tech up, unfortunately.
That's a heavy machine gun!
DxZero just floating resources like crazy. Can't believe he hasn't called in a Tiger tank. Nice use of smoke to cover his retreat. Sees the Panzer Grenadiers coming and wanted to make the quickest route back to his base, but he didn't want to do it in front of the pack. Does manage to get to semi-safety, although he needs to keep going. Pathfinders inflicting pretty reasonable damage to that machine gun. Harassment of the fuel by a lieutenant, harassment of more territory by riflemen here in the north, so he's got quite a weak presence here by his major, actually, making him vulnerable to this push until his infantry can get back to the front lines. He does drop himself some paratroopers to support, cooking LMG on those right now, positioning them in green cover. They should be sufficient. Whoa! Oh! His Jackson just wrecked his own Sherman there. He needs to be extremely careful about that. He is so lucky that that didn't just get destroyed. It got a lucky destroyed engine death critical. Wow.
Tank ready.
He got saved by RNG right there. Praise RNGesus. You really cannot, you cannot fire through your decrewed tanks. So, lesson learned there by Taxman. He's probably sighing with relief that he didn't accidentally blow up his own Sherman. And it's a good thing that his opponent didn't notice or realize that that happened, because he does have a Tiger on the field, and if he were to follow up on the fact that that just happened right now, he would... I'm not sure that Taxman would be able to recover. Pack is slowly creeping its way forward. Taxman has to reposition his ambulance. He needs to repair that Sherman's engine. Trying to move up rifleman to screen. Sherman smoke going out once again. After firing the smoke rounds, he gets back out of the Sherman and continues repairs. The Jackson and the AT gun are firing on the Tiger. Repair critical goes off on the Sherman. He's able to get it to safety a little bit more quickly. And a P-47 is being called in on that Tiger, and so many shots are penetrating that Tiger's frontal armor, even at maximum range. And I'm not sure that that Tiger will survive this P-47 strafing run. Second plane coming in now. Oh, and there it goes. There he goes. Couldn't get clear of the strike zone. And then the Jackson dies anyway. What was that? What was he doing? Why, like, what was that Jackson even doing right there? That was a second Jackson. I think that one might have been rally pointed. Kind of undermines that P-47 victory a little bit right there, but All right. Grenadiers taking heavy damage from those paratrooper LMGs.
We've landed in contact.
Pathfinder set up a beacon here. A lot of damage being inflicted on those Grenadiers.
MG-42.
Grenade going out. Nice dodge. Not really accomplishing much on these pushes, but at the very least he is baiting munitions expenditures from his opponent. His opponent does have 145 munitions though, and it looks like assault support has finally been chosen. I'm surprised he didn't choose earlier. But that Tiger just died so quick. That was really bad luck for the Auster player, honestly. So many penetrating shots from the front, no bounces. I don't think a single shot against that Tiger bounced. And it went down to just a Jackson AT gun and a P-47 strike. And he was barely able to inflict any damage with that. Anti-infantry strafe coming in from Ju-87's Stuka. Taxman does retreat to get clear of the strike zone, although he's going to have to retreat quite far to get completely free of the strike zone. He's not really going to be able to push even outside of his base until that plane gets shot down by the Sherman top gunner or the ability ends. And Auster map control, at the very least, is quite good, holding a decent portion of the map and cutting the US Forces player off from everything, really, except for the munitions point. But the clock is stopped. The Auster player needs to get it going in his favor, and he also needs to get a little bit more resources under his control if he's going to stay in the game, because he's taking some pretty heavy fuel losses as far as losing his Tiger. It's a bad RNG and.
Tank ready.
Oh no! Why would he purchase a Stug? That's a terrible decision in this situation. The Stug gets countered by the Jackson even harder than the Panzer IV does. Because the Jackson can penetrate its frontal armor every time, kills it in 2 shots, and it has a turret, and better mobility. I think it has better mobility. Yeah, they're probably about the same. So, I mean, that's kind of, I understand it's sort of an emergency purchase to keep a Sherman at bay, but I really disagree with it. Oh well, he's just gonna have to try and make it work now. Pioneers moving to harass the north. Sherman and Jackson moving into the arc fire of Pack and Stug. Screening infantry moving up. Those paratroopers were forced to make a pretty hasty getaway. Stug's kind of stuck on the Pack though. He's got to move it to a different location where that won't happen, because if the Jackson were to catch it doing that, it would be pretty much dead. And Taxman splits some of his forces off into the south to grab some territory back. He really needs to improve his map situation if he wants to finish the game off before any more heavy Axis armor arrives. Stug doing a little bit of harassment on those riflemen, but the Jackson is moving up. Oh, like massive damage. Look at that. It's so weak. It definitely needs a little more health or something. I mean, can barely hold its own for any reasonable length of time in any engagement. It stands no chance. It's pretty pathetic. These riflemen are probably gonna get wiped again. Oh, he actually takes a good retreat path with some walls and fences and stuff, and then destroyed over here. And he does barely manage to escape. So that's good. And a mortar hits the field. Interesting, 30-minute mortar. Interesting purchase. Definitely not a bad idea by any means. Bombarding a lieutenant, or not a lieutenant, a major's retreat point, for example, can always inflict some pretty significant bleed. Oh, that Scott got on way too close to that infantry. Took some nasty shots and has to run away. These Pathfinders are engaging these Axis infantry. He's in green cover, his opponent is in red. Honestly, this could be a close engagement. or those Pathfinders to just do nothing and die.
Stand
This looks
by!
like is exactly what's going to happen. Kind of needed some lucky crits to survive that, and that's the end of that Vet 2 Pathfinder squad.
Warning orders, gang.
Ah, man, paratroopers getting reinforced over here. He's lost so much infantry just due to being overextended here behind his enemy's lines. Really needs to be a little bit more careful about that.
Fire! Keep low!
For action.
Wow, major artillery killed something. I can't believe it. Look at that. The mortar gets decrewed. Inflicted a little bit of damage to that machine gun too. Oh, bonus there. Still don't think that that was worth the 120 munitions he just spent to do that though. He definitely has plenty of munitions to spare though, so I guess he felt that that would be worth a shot. I guess.
Capture point is under attack.
Probably best to just save it for P-47 rocket strafes and LMGs on your paratroopers, but oh well. 130 fuel saved up by the U.S. Forces players, so he's probably thinking about what vehicle he wants to get next. Probably could get another Sherman. Doesn't really need to be preparing for a Tiger yet. His opponent still only has 170 fuel, and he's purchased a Stug for whatever reason, so that certainly delays the next Tiger by quite a bit of time. These infantry are taking a ton of damage from LMGs, though. Lieutenant goes down.
We lost an infantry unit.
He's definitely way too aggressive on that charge. And at this point, he should probably have grenade. Oh, there he goes, grenade package. Yeah, he definitely should have probably purchased that a little bit earlier. That's 32 minutes into the game. It's a little bit late. Oh, nice HE shell right there. The pack is out of position, getting taken out by paratroopers. Oh no. Unfortunately, both of those squads will barely get to safety, and it looks like the Stug. Whoa! Something just bounced off the front of the Sherman. I didn't even realize that was possible. That just goes to show how terrible the Stug really is. Wow. Apparently the Stug has less penetration than like a Panther Troop. Getting way too close to that,
We just lost a medium
what?
tank.
Oh, look at that flank! Look at that flank by those infantry. He manages to take out a Jackson there. He's taking heavy bleed from the HE shells, though. I don't know if they're gonna make it home with those riflemen in his retreat path, plus the P-47 just took out that Stug. Sherman is now moving up to follow up on those retreating infantry. Grenadier squad goes down. And ooh, that was a mistake though. We just lost a full rifle squad.
Just wasted some of our riflemen.
His attempt to recruit that pack. Man, this has been a bloody battle.
We're taking effective fire!
This has been a bloody battle.
What the hell am I meant to do with these ones?
Lots of things getting taken out, but fortunately Taxman has kept his Sherman alive. He definitely needs it to stay relevant against these grenadiers that he's fighting, because Riflemen don't have BARs, and he hasn't really purchased any paratroopers outside of this one squad, which is making it difficult for him to contend with enemy infantry, especially without grenade tech. Well, he has grenades now, but with only one rifleman squad left, not gonna get a whole lot of mileage out of that. Another Jackson is getting produced because, of course, it's getting to be about that time where the second Tiger is going to be arriving. He needs to prepare for it, especially now that his Jackson just got taken out by that Panzer Grenadier flank. Throw a grenade. There it goes. His opponent does react in time. Nearly loses that full rifleman squad. He's really starting to fall behind despite taking out that Stug. His Scott's been repaired, but he needs to sort of position it in range to actually fire on enemy troops. There it goes. Sherman has 46 kills and is going to be Vet 3 soon. A Vet 2 Sherman has incredible mobility. It's like super agile and fast. It's amazing. Look at it go. Ooh, nasty shot right there. It also has a better rate of fire, I believe, which makes it even more deadly, even more effective as a counter-harassment unit. Drops his MG42. I wonder if he spotted that. I wonder if either of them spot that with the default camera angle. It might be a little bit difficult to see. Ooh. Another flank by those Panzer Grenadiers wipes the ambulance. Taxman really needs to watch this flanking route. His Scott's trying to punish them as they soft retreat back. doesn't really inflict much damage. Team God is taking damage from an MG42, and I think it's stuck between all of these tank carcasses. I don't think it can get out. I don't think it can move at all. He does rotate it to fire on this Tiger, which is getting super aggressive, which it probably shouldn't be. Now he's facing his rear armor towards the Allied base. Fortunately, it does do through the AT gun. P-47 strafe pretty much completely misses, and he will get clear of the strike zone. So that's good. Maybe he was just trying to bait the P-47. That was a way too aggressive push by that Tiger, and he's really lucky that his opponent didn't have, like, by Jackson in a slightly better position to punish him for that little dance he just did. He needs to play conservatively with his Tiger and use it to slowly push forward. Take map control back. Get the game back under his control, which is definitely within the realm of possibility because his opponent is down to almost nothing. Then again, so is he, but a Tiger is a really powerful asset when your opponent has nothing but a Jackson, a Sherman, and some paratroopers.
Jump complete.
Those paratroopers do manage to blob into that machine gun and clear the pack before getting suppressed. Oh no! He was way too greedy staying that long. We've got two Sherman shooting at him. He's just getting torn to shreds by that Sherman. Where is the Tiger? What is the Tiger doing up there? His whole army is dying while his Tiger is messing around up there. He really needs to use that Tiger to support. It's not really a harassment unit. Oh no. Tiger does arrive, the AT gun gets cleared before it can take any shots. Fortunately, he does manage to repair critical on a Sherman to get it to safety with the Vet-2 Sherman's superior mobility. And that Jackson gets 2 shots off on the Tiger, they both penetrate, inflicting massive damage to the Tiger's now going to have to pull back and be a little bit more careful. So overall, just really disorganized play from the Auster. He needs to coordinate his forces a lot better. He's constantly scrambling around. Retreat! Oh, I can't watch this, it hurts! Nice shot by the Tiger, inflicts good damage on those paratroopers, and they'll be forced back. Taxman does not have enough munitions for a P-47 rocket strafe. He's pretty much spent all he had in that regard, but that Tiger needs repairs. A few lucky shots from that Jackson could send this game. Could end this game.
Our supply line just got cut off.
Potentially. Considering what little forces the Auster player has left. As Scott's taking shots, every one of those shots has the potential to wipe full squads as well. Which is definitely not something the Auster player can afford, so taking that out should definitely be a high priority. Taking out either of these vehicles would be a devastating blow. Taking out any one of these 3 vehicles would be a devastating blow because the Sherman's ability to counter, harass, and bleed his infantry is unmatched this game, up to 56 kills now. Nothing can even come close to that. None of his Vet-2 paratroopers don't even have 20 by comparison. Rifle grenade, nice dodge, heard the noise, got out of there just in time. Quick grenade on the other hand also does not quite manage to connect. Grenadiers actually have a stolen LMG in addition to their MG42. So they're actually a pretty dangerous Grenadier squad, but he needs to vet them up. They're quite fresh. They don't even have any kills yet actually. They're having a lot of difficulty contending with those Vet-3 paratroopers. Looks like repairs on the Tiger have not completed. Apparently he decided that that was good enough. It's really not good enough. He needs to get up to full health to have a decent chance against an AT gun and a Jackson and potentially a P-47 strafe. He doesn't know that his opponent doesn't have any rocket strafes, of course. He's been spamming them relatively hard. He also used major artillery that one time, so that's something to factor into your calculations as well. Your internal timer. But you really never know for sure if your opponent has the munitions to keep doing it. Keeping up the pressure is a good way to make him expend his resources when he doesn't want to. That Tiger needs to be a little more aggressive at this point. Try and apply a little bit of pressure to Taxman before the second Jackson arrives. Try and inflict a vehicle loss on him before he can amass a huge swarm of allied armor to overwhelm him. Well, he can either do that or he can produce another pack, I guess. Try and set up a strong defense. He probably should not charge into the allied vehicles with these extremely wounded grenadiers, though. That would probably not go very well for him, and I can't believe that 40 minutes into the game he doesn't have a medic bunker! What is he thinking? No wonder all of his infantry, look at this manpower bleed. It's devastating. Can't afford that. He needs a medic bunker. Paratroopers force away some pioneers here in the south. And this Tiger is going to go counter-harass. Opening up the way for this allied infantry to charge his units here in the middle. Very nearly wiping that grenadier squad, but unfortunately he prioritized the pack. Fragmentation bombs nearly wiped that paratrooper squad on retreat. Ouch. Meanwhile, down here, a Panzer IV has been produced, so there's now a Panzer IV down there in the and that force of armor is probably enough to overwhelm the U.S. Forces player, especially now that his AT gun has been decrewed. He could probably charge in. Taxman still doesn't have the munitions for a P-47. Oh no, he's gonna be a little bit out of position here with his Panzer IVs facing his rear armor. Taxman doesn't see, fortunately. What, man? I don't know if it's pathing or what, but these tanks need to get their act together a little bit. AT gun has been recrewed, so I think the Axis armor has lost its window of opportunity to charge in. Got some kills on allied vehicles. Jackson shot misses. Sherman is now up to vet 3, but it has HE rounds equipped, so it doesn't really have much of a part to play here in this engagement. It's not switching either. The AT gun is getting shots off on the Panzer IV and it needs to pull back. One more shot from the Jackson could kill it. He's getting hit by a pack. Oh, he's so lucky that that pack shot just missed. Wow. That was very lucky for him. Taxman has had a lot of lucky breaks this game. P-47 successfully killing a Tiger on the very last strafe. Lucky death critical when he accidentally shot his own Sherman. Pack just missed his M8A1 right there. Definitely a lot of lucky breaks for the U.S. Forces player this game, but that being said, plenty of mistakes from the Austere player as well. I definitely disagree with a lot of his decisions so far. I don't know who's going to win this. It's pretty brutal. Pretty brutal for both sides. Definitely need some repairs here though. Austere player kind of struggling in that regard. Probably could afford to throw out another Pioneer squad at this point.
A capture point is under attack. Points are down to 300.
Harassment happening here in the north by the double LMG Grenadier squad. What was that? Is this Scott firing smoke rounds? Yes, it is. Scott is firing smoke rounds to clear the way for infantry to charge for the victory point. Sometimes I forget that Scott is even able to do that. It's free too. Useful ability. Nice usage of the smoke barrage. Very nice. Usually I rely almost solely on rifle smoke. It just goes to show that I'm a noob. Our paratrooper's taking a bunch of damage here. He needs to retreat that squad right now. As soon as the smoke clears, it's going to take a ton of damage. Oh, gets sniped by a Shrek as well. I don't know if that's going to get away. Run, paratroopers. They do get away just barely by a hair. The Jackson making good use of its superior ranged fire on those Axis tanks. And the fact that this Austere... Oh, God! Spread out! No! What was I saying? Oh god, the double LMG Grenadier squad just died. I don't even know if he threw a grenade, did he? I see a crater right there. I suppose it's possible. That's not good though. Counter harassment down here by an ever-growing force of Axis armor. There are now 3 tanks. Taxman does have the munitions for a P-47 though, so his window of opportunity to assault is kind of closed. He's going to have to wait. There's also a second Jackson and a crude AT gun. This assault will definitely fail. Don't go in. What are you doing? P-47 is getting called in. Oh no. Why? What are you thinking? Pull back before it's too late. Taking massive damage on the Tiger. Gets taken down. And now he's going to try and pull back with his Panzer IV. Fragmentation bombs do get dropped. And kill a Jackson. Sherman is down to half health. GG getting called. I don't know what the Austere player was thinking with that assault. He just got frustrated and threw everything he had away. He ran out of mental endurance, I guess. Looks like the Austere player lost the Battle of Wills there. Wow. What a game! Alright, I hope you enjoyed it. I did. I definitely did, although I was frustrated at points, but that's alright. I hope you liked the video. If you have replays of your own you'd like me to cast, feel free to send them to me. I'm happy to do that for you. Otherwise, thanks for watching. That's it.